Hello and welcome to Glimmer of Genius, episode 21. This is a podcast all about Magic the Gathering, bringing you the latest happenings in the MTG community, from news to tournament reports, deck ideas to MTG finance. We are Glimmer of Genius. If you'd like to learn more about the show, then check us out on Facebook at Glimmer of Genius. Leave a comment or a question for the show and become part of the conversation. My name's Luke and I make YouTube videos. On the line with me is Level 2 Judge Grant David and MTG Trader Simon Wright. How are you both doing?
I'm good. You're definitely working on that intro in your absence, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got that written down.
Yeah, that is totally written down in front of me, reading that, maybe. I've had lots of time to practice doing all sorts of things other than playing Magic in my hiatus. Any vague followers of the show will know that we haven't had an episode for a little while. It's been at least a month, maybe two, and it's been entirely my fault as I've had a little baby, so I haven't really had any time to kind of do anything Magic related. I've taken
selfish bastard.
I've taken a holiday from Magic and I don't like it, so I'm back. I think I've played maybe one game of Magic online, and what did I do? I was playing a blue-black control deck, just a couple of practice games. Not literally, that's about it. That was the only thing that interesting that happened to me. I'll start off talking about what we've been up to in the weeks for Magic. I stumbled on a deck. There was something in the back of my mind I knew I wanted to talk about. I played against this, what I thought was the blue-black control mirror, but it turns out they were using... It's probably not something that Grant you've already heard of, knowing the kind of deck it is, but they were using... So like blue-black control cards, and then all the tutor effects, and all the cards that you... So there's these 5 mana spells, one of them cycling, that you can search your library for any kind of card. There's also a modal card that exists. I can't remember the name of any of these cards, which isn't really very helpful. But it's like you can either do a certain thing or search your library for a card. And there's also this artifact that you can pay 1 mana, tap it, and exile a card from your hand. And then if the total converted mana cost of each individual card has to be different, and if you exile a certain number of things, then you can flip it. And then if it flips, you can tap it to add mana. It turns into a land, which adds mana
Life total.
Equal to a life total. That's it.
Yeah.
So basically, this card the deck just durdles and flips that, and then searches for a card outside the game, which is Torment of Hailfire. And
oh my god, that sounds amazing! I want to play this deck now. So I'm gonna want 4 of these cards right now.
Hang on.
What's the artifact called there? I can't remember what the artifact's called.
I have 2 in stock.
Azor's Gateway or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'll have a little look at the replay on MTG, and I'll message you the cards that were in it that I saw. But yeah, he played it, and I was like, I sensed shenanigans here, but I had absolutely no idea what was going on. And obviously, being blue-black, as soon as it resolved, there was very little I could do about it, other than disallow the trigger. I didn't draw one in the end. But yeah, it was quite funny. Torment of Hailfire me when I'm on he was on some stupid amount of life. It was great. Incidentally, MTGO doesn't like you resolving Torment of Hailfire when it's above 50 time, or however many times you have to do it.
Most things probably don't like it, resolving it above 50 either. I don't think your opponent probably does.
To be fair, MTGO is struggling counting past 5.
don't we all though, really?
You have how many cards in your hand? 7? What?
So yeah, that was the most exciting Magic the Gathering related thing that I got up to. I don't know if anyone else has been trying it, but it seemed too sweet not to mention.
I have heard of it. I haven't seen it in action though.
I'm frantically looking for decks online. I can't find it in any tournament that's been played recently. This makes me sad.
You know the tutor though, isn't it? It's
Mastermind acquisition.
Search your library for any card or your deck or your card outside the game.
Yeah, it was in that. I don't know if you remember. I talked about that Infinite Vampire deck, and that used that as well, which was to look for the pieces. So, yeah.
Grant, have you been up to any kind of equal shenanigans yourself recently playing Magic? Have you seen anything even on a par?
I haven't really been playing that much, to be honest. I played in a PPTQ, was it 2 weeks ago? Maybe 3, in Eastbourne. I played with I don't know if I well, I think it's been a while since we talked about what we're actually playing in standard, but I played I played around with sort of blue-white tokens and using honor processions. Is it honor procession? The doubling tokens one. And yeah. And I then changed it into, I think it was just white-black, and it used stuff like start to finish, the make tokens, and you can sacrifice a guy to kill something.
Nice. And
with Hidden Stockpile, and Hidden Stockpile's been really good, and also the main focus of the deck is my favourite card in town at the moment, which is Crested Sunman, just making horses is fun. And I have like a bit of life link in it as well, so I could block in the opponent's turn and still get a horse and all that. And Dusk Dawn as well, which is my favourite card as well. It's not a creature. So it was fine, but it was a bit too slow, and I beat, I think, maybe 3 decks or something, but then lost, I think, the other 2, and it obviously didn't make top 8 or whatever, because there seems to be a lot of like 3 and 4 colour control-y decks and stuff. Lots of stuff like splashes for Vraska and just basically the Scarab God just being annoying kind of thing. Yeah. So it was fun. And after it, someone linked me a deck that did a lot better, which didn't use Dust Storm. I think it did have the Crested Sun in it. But it had like a vampire tribal kind of thing to it, but more from like a token focus rather than the actual card focus.
Didn't this do well at GP, that deck?
Yeah, I think that's the one she linked me. There was another one as well that had Hidden Stockpile, but basically the argument was that having lots of little tokens is good, but a lot of people are running board wipe at the moment, and with the vampire stuff, because of that enchantment, you can stack. Like, the vampires often get to like 3, 4, 5/5s, and then they're sort of free from any kind of real board wipe. So if I was to try and play standard competitively, I think that's what I've got the list somewhere, and I've got the card to build it. It does look quite good, but I don't know. I've just got no real enthusiasm to play standard at the moment, really.
No.
Oh, that's a surprise. We've got quite a lot of black-white vampire lists running around at our Tuesday nights at the moment.
Yeah.
It seems quite popular, seems quite fun.
Yeah, I think what I'm sort of lacking really is just something a bit more fun. Because I've tried something a bit more fun, it doesn't do very well. So, I mean, if this Azor's Gateway deck is a thing, that would be fantastic. But I do know I've got a competitive standard deck anyway. I've also kind of been looking a bit at Modern, and obviously see if the meta's changed. And obviously we'll talk about this later, but it doesn't seem to change too much. I'm kind of happy sticking with what I would normally do in Modern, and I'm just trying to detect like what decks I could sort of play and what ones I can't. And obviously, as most of you know, my favourite deck that I've probably played in Modern was like Restore Balance and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then I kind of went into Living End, and Living End was fun, but as you know, Luke, like folds quite quickly to like if the meta's quite counterspell heavy and all that sort of business.
Yeah.
But because of Ammon Ket and I don't know some other kind of selection pressures, I guess there's been a blue Living End list, which seems like really good that I want to play. I'll just get the list up now. So it's got As Foretold in, and that's how you cast Living End. You don't cascade into it; you just cast it using As Foretold. And you can also do that in the opponent's turn, because As Foretold lets you cast a spell a turn. It doesn't matter whose turn it is.
Is Living End an instant?
Oh no, it's the same restrictions, isn't it?
So you can't Living End in someone's instant.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah, sorry, no, I forgot about it. But yeah, no, you're right. But it's got like obviously Cryptic Commands disallows remand, so like you can deal with stuff that would normally screw over a Living End deck. But more importantly, it's got Architects of Will, that old blue-black thing used to cycle. But of course, it's got newer ones. It's got Curator of Mysteries, the Sphinx. It's got Street Wraith, and it's got Striped Riverwinder, which is that 5/5 serpent that's got hexproof, and it's a 5/5.
Oh, nice.
Which you can cycle for 1. So, also it runs Ancestral Vision, because you can cast that for free, obviously, off of As Foretold. So it's like Living End, but it doesn't have the same weaknesses. It doesn't seem to be as it's only got 15 creatures rather than like 30 or whatever. So it's probably less quick, but it seems to be a lot more resistant to stuff. So I think I might give something like that a go, or I might try and give Restore Balance another go, because it's just quite funny, it just being different. And also I've seen a few Restore Balance lists that run As Foretold, or run Gideon of the Trials as well. So I think I might try and play a bit more Modern. Standard again, as I said, unless I play something a bit silly, I think I'll get a bit bored.
That's fair enough. I think that's the thing with Modern as well, is you can kind of float back to previous deck ideas after a longer period of time, obviously, because stuff A doesn't rotate out, and B, if at one point, especially in your local meta, if Living End might be something people are expecting and you kind of go off of it for a while, then you can kind of come back to it after a time, and maybe people are a bit less prepared for it again. It's got that nice kind of ebb and flow that Standard wouldn't quite have, obviously, because of the fact that it has the rotation. But no, that's pretty cool.
I mean, what gave me the enthusiasm for this was more the fact that you're right in terms of you kind of want to go back to deck you played before, but particularly stuff like Living End and Restore Balance to a certain degree. Obviously, you come back, and since that, even just like a year of playing, you've suddenly got, in this case, lots of cyclers or enchantment that does something really different. So not only do you want to play the same deck again, but the deck can sometimes be either better or at least better in the meta at the moment because of these new additions from new sets. So that's quite refreshing, I think.
Totally.
Same as I imagine Merfolk players. I imagine they probably want to play it a bit more now that there's some new choices, I guess. I haven't really seen Merfolk as of Ixalan, but I imagine that's probably made some Merfolk players want to play it again. Yeah,
totally. Even if people don't actually make changes in the end, just the idea that these cards are there and people are trying out new things, just kind of keeps people interested, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And Simon, what about you? We were joking a little bit earlier, but poking fun at the whole Jace situation financially. Have you actually managed to capitalise on the sudden changes in banned and restricted announcements? I say sudden. It's been a while now, obviously.
Quickly went back. I've managed to trade one off at a slightly inflated price, which is quickly gone back down to what it was beforehand. Really. Well, it's a bit higher now, but yeah, I think it all depends on if it gets a big showing in one of the big tournaments, then I'm laughing. But yeah, it's apparently Wizards were quite correct. Unban it, it's not going to make much of a big impact in Modern. We'll see. It could do. You never know. If it does, then no holds barred. Basically, the gloves are off. The price is going to skyrocket. It was a weird situation because we knew it was getting reprinted, but because of the unbanning as well, the price was. I don't think I've been in finance long enough to see it anything similar. So of course the price shot straight up straight away, but then of course everyone realised, well, hang on, wait a second, it is being reprinted. So it sort of hovered. It sort of jumped from around £50 to £90, £100 maybe. It sort of hovered there for a while before slowly declining again. But yeah, if it has a big showing, then it's gonna. Cause there's not many around. The product's not being opened much, so if it does well, I can see it going up to another 120 quid again easily.
As high as that?
I think so. I mean, there's a lot from vault boxes hanging around though. But if it goes up, it will encourage more people to open more Masters 25. That's been a bit of a downer. But of course, if more people open the product, the more that's on the market, so the price will go back down again. Being interesting one to follow, but only if it performs well in a Modern tournament. If it doesn't do anything, then the price is just going to sink. It'll be within a year, it'll probably be like 20, 25 quid.
Wow. And have you had much chance to draft?
I've done one draft and I loved it. I thought it was bloody awesome. So the rest of our F&M drafts are now Master 25s the rest of the month.
Nice.
Oh really?
So as TO, I get to make those decisions. So yeah, I don't care if you like it or not. We're playing it.
I mean, I need to do that because I don't really like buying any of the like vintage, Eternal, whatever master sets because generally you just don't get very lucky. But drafting them is quite fun, so I do need to get around and actually doing.
It was awesome. It was really awesome, and you do get past some nice stuff as well.
Yeah, nice.
And I got past the foil street wave from it. I'm taking that.
Ooh.
Who passed the foil street?
I then got past the foil Neil spell bomb. I'm like, I'm not taking that as well. I've got to concentrate. I've got to stand and
Nah.
Oh,
but yeah, a lot of the money's in the foils really. You open boxes, you open the mythics and the rares, you're like, oh, I've got some good stuff, but I've probably lost money. But you look at the foils, and go, actually, there's some pretty good foils in here.
It's like I've still got that box fund stable to open. I could open it because I'm building a queue, but who wants to just open booster packs?
No, play it.
After it?
I'll draft. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. I want to get ideally 6 people because out of a box you can get 2 6-man drafts out of it. And of course, the thing that you really actually care about is the land and the foil. The rest of it's just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, if people are interested in drafting unstable, I've still got a box I want to do. So.
Yeah, I drafted unstable twice. Once I really enjoyed. Once I didn't enjoy it, and I realised the time I've really enjoyed it, I was doing really powerful, stupid things, and that's why I like master sets because you're playing really powerful cards.
Yeah, that's true.
Like every pick's usually, like sometimes it's a chapter, but usually it's a powerful card. You're doing powerful things, and it's fun. It's stuff you don't usually get to do playing normal Magic, unless you're playing like Pauper.
I need to play that. I've got a couple of lists, but is it Sunday the Pauper tournament? Did you say?
Oh yeah, we're doing one on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get that going because that sounds fun. Even though I will have literally never played the deck at all before.
No, there's a lot of people like that. I feel a bit bad because I've sort of invited some. I wanted it to be a big event. I don't know if I told you. So what I've been doing, Luke, since you've asked, is of course we've moved premises. The shop's moved premises to a space that's 3 times the size.
Simon is now part of the Dice League Collective. He's been
basically I have my own booth inside the shop. a 3x3 office with all my magic cards in and some desks and some computers to sell magic cards out of, and it's awesome. But part of the good thing, the really good thing, is that we have a lot more space to run a lot more magic.
Mm.
So we're doing a lot of winner box events on weekends, and we're starting with Pauper because a lot of people are interested in Pauper. And so, of course, it's my job to create the events, drum up business, make sure we get bums in seats, basically, to fill this new premise up. It's 3 times the size of the old shop. So we need people in there just to make it worthwhile, really. And so I feel a bit bad because a lot of our local community are really liking Pauper and just getting into it. But, of course, I need more people. So I haven't told anyone yet, but I sort of like reached out to specific Pauper groups nearby, like local Pauper areas. Like there's a London Pauper group that I've reached out to and been like, "Oh, we're having a Pauper tournament. Why don't you come on down, win a box?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." But of course, they play Pauper as that's their go-to magic. We're going to have a load of our local players just getting into the game for the first time, and I haven't had the heart to break it to them that some pro Pauper players might turn up.
I kind of shark the event.
Yeah,
that'd be good though. That's what it's all about.
There's no point in you all just playing Pauper and not doing it properly. To be fair, most of them do seem to be going for set lists. I've got a lot of people that come in with like, I need this list, so they're going for the competitive list. I had 2 or 3 people going for the same list, and I went, "Oh yeah, someone else is building that as well." And they went, so I thought it was a competitive list, and they went, "No one else is building this pile of jank." I was like, I think it was like some mono white deck. I was like, going, No, yeah, it seems popular. I went, "Oh God, what's going on? Why are they all building this?" I'm gutted I'm running it because it seems quite popular and it's going to be quite busy. I can't justify playing it myself at the same time, and so I would like to actually have given that one a go. It's
good though that other formats are getting some love.
Yeah,
if I was free, I would definitely be going.
You still haven't been to the shop. You need to come down.
I'm hoping to get there this Friday.
Yeah, but we're doing a lot more. We're doing Pauper winner box, modern winner box, just random little tournaments that just win a box instead of just chaff.
No, this is really good because I was saying to Jim before, like it'd be really good to get more things like this. People want it; they want more events, so it's good.
But we've got lots of space. We want to get more people in, basically. We can fit probably over 100 comfortably now.
That's really good.
That's probably not even using all the space. We had a Saturday. We had a Master 25 sit-and-go draft day, but at the same time we were holding a local judge conference.
Yep, which I was part of.
So we had 40. Was it 40 judges?
Yeah, about 40. Yeah.
Sitting down, but that was just a side room.
Yep.
That's not even the main room. So yeah, we could probably easily fit 100 players now.
And you got all 40 of them in the side room.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I think comfortably as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Luckily, it's an old warehouse, so it is a bit cold sometimes, which I think works to the advantage.
I'm about to say, what if you've got that many people in there, then it gets warm. You don't want it too warm.
Yeah, no, that's the advantage. There's not too many sweaty Magic players. It's too hot.
That's only a good thing.
Yeah, but we have to be a bit careful there because, of course, the Master 25 drafts were not too far away. And if someone sat a judge, I had to be like, shh, not too loud. Cause a stampede.
Yeah. So this judge conference then, was there anything in particular that came out of it? Anything noteworthy? I suppose this is more directed at Grant, unless you were eavesdropping in there, Simon.
I couldn't this time. I did it last one.
You might have heard a clown horn. That was in my seminar. Because mine was like 8 different scenarios. It was to do with judging at regular rather than competitive. So it was to do with stuff that's ambiguous, and sometimes obviously DQing is actually correct even though it's only regular, if they're like, fastering or whatever. And it was like to do with conversation rather than just, oh, this is the answer kind of thing. Because it was like 8 different questions and you sort of rotated around. Every 5 minutes I'd squeeze this horn thing that I had when I was a teacher. And apparently it's really bothered Jim, because apparently Jim's got a phobia of clowns. So he kept hearing this noise through the door and getting chills because he kept hearing this clown horn. Yes, that was quite funny. Let's have a look. Yeah, so my seminar was about that. There was a really good section about, not really much for players, it was more to do with like sort of judges and empathising with players and applying for GPs and working towards level 2 and stuff. So apart from maybe my one, there wasn't too much, I suppose, that would apply for like your run-of-the-mill kind of player. But it was still obviously very useful nonetheless.
That's cool. You said about empathising with players. Is that something that, whether yourself or in the wider judge community, that is often an issue or that's come up? Or
that's just good customer service.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I mean, Michael did that once, obviously, with his whole therapist stuff. He's pretty damn good at it. But his point was basically that it's not when you get a judge call, it's not like a problem to be solved. You need to take into account that this player's had like a certain experience or has had a certain day, and you need to take that into account. So even just spending like maybe 30 seconds just like trying to understand from the player's point of view makes a big difference. Particularly when it comes, I mean, this is kind of, most judges know this anyway, because obviously like DQing someone's quite, obviously no one likes that, the part of the process the judges included. But they're saying, obviously, say if you had to DQ someone, obviously you don't want to sort of start using, say, the word cheating like straight away, because that automatically gets people on edge. Because generally, of course, say if you do have the penalty for cheating, sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's something like, oh, I didn't think this was a big deal and just didn't say anything about it, kind of thing. So the moment you start chucking around sort of like quite negative sounding words, it means that the player automatically, one, is going to have a bad time, but two, also is going to be a lot difficult to, get the process in terms of taking statements and, making them aware of the situation a lot more difficult. So it was kind of like not just for DQing, but in terms of like for any kind of situation, just spending time asking a few more questions about the player and like what's happening and just trying to see from their perspective makes the situation a lot better, and you not acting like they're a problem to be solved kind of attitude, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that was useful, and I think it's something that I'm certainly going to be trying. Obviously not for the higher, like the higher level stuff, but in terms of just the everyday judge call stuff, it's something that I hadn't really thought about. So that was quite nice for me to sort of learn from something like that. Yeah.
No, that's a really good one, because I remember when I was new in a job that I was doing a little while ago, and one of the bits of feedback I got was what I was doing was quite technical, and there were steps to follow and things to do, and I was so focused on making sure I was being procedurally correct that sometimes I would just look angry, and people said, you're right, you look like you're in a bad mood, and I was like, no. And
to be fair, that's often your normal phase.
maybe that's just me. I guess the point I'm trying to make is I can see, at least from my point of view and how I am sometimes, which is apparently always angry, that it can be hard to forget that you're speaking with people and there are emotions involved. And if you're focusing on making the right call, then I can see how it's easy to sometimes forget the more human side. So it's cool that things like that are actually chatted about.
Yeah, it was useful. As I said, like a lot of apart from maybe like the layers thing, a lot of the conference was actually more about like soft skills, what you take to a tournament, like not just, here are some problems, here are the rules kind of thing. It was very much like, here are some skills that are useful to think about kind of thing.
Who decides on the topics for a judge conference?
I believe what happens is the person that ran it, which in this case was Mark White, who's the regional coordinator, I think, of the South East anyway. He'll obviously get application. It will say like, here's the judge conference. It will be on this day. People will say, yes, I want to come to it. And then people like myself, or obviously level one if they want to, will say, I'm fine doing a presentation. Here's what I might do it about. And then he'll decide which is the most relevant and then put that into the conference. Because like there's say 5 slots. He chose mostly L2s, but say Luke did one about applying for GPs because although being level 1, he's worked more GPs than most people have. So
yeah,
his was about that, which was good.
So it's not wizards going, our non-employees, I mean volunteers need better customer service skills.
Yeah, it's entirely up to the person organising it. And to be fair, from what I understand, the way conferences and stuff work, they just say like, we want you to, here's an amount of judge foils you can use to basically pay judges to do things. You can schedule as many or as little conferences as you want. Here's the kind of money equivalent that we're giving you to do that. So you don't have to have like a regional conference if you don't want to, but it's kind of like good practice now just because there are the judge foils, obviously they will pay judges for travelling and all that stuff to go to. So use it, and then obviously if you're the regional coordinator of a certain area, what ones would be useful for most people or whatever, and then you can choose amongst the skills your judges have, what presentations you want to do, really.
Yeah, it makes sense. Have some more judge foils.
Basically, yeah. So I've got
2 big judge foils. 4
for doing my presentation, which I then swiftly traded for Lily the Pale. So
with me, I regret it.
Yeah, it was not. It was good. I still need 2 more.
Okay, I'll get some more. Would you like a Japanese one?
Yeah, well, I think we talked about this. Yeah, possibly.
Okay, so trying feebly to maintain some sort of order to proceedings. I know you mentioned...
You're out of practice, it's not going to happen. You got me in grant.
Obviously, one of the biggest things that we missed was the unbanning of Jace the Mind Sculptor and Bloodbraid Elf. They've now had a bit of time in the format, and it's old news to some degree now. But I just thought it was interesting to have a little think about modern, what the format's like now. We've mentioned briefly earlier on about the sort of price of Jace. I mean, Bloodbraid Elf is not that exciting price-wise, but had a little chat about Jace's price. But actually,
what are you on about?
Why is okay?
The price of Bloodbraid Elf is the most exciting one.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How much do you sell Bloodbraid Elves for?
Well, it's gone from like £1 to like £6. In the high pocket, sell for £6. Bloody Cameron, one of my employees in brackets, robbed me of F&M Bloodbraid Elves, the bastard, because he knew he was like, I'm going to take a punt just in case they get unbanned. And got I think I had 2 or 3.
No.
At like £7 or £8 each, and he ran off laughing.
That is rubbish.
But Bloodbraid Elf done a lot better, because of course everyone thought, oh, they're going to reprint Bloodbraid Elf in Moss 25 as well, so it's not going to be a thing. It's going to be an uncommon. It's not really worth anything, but they didn't. The percentage gain on Bloodbraid Elf was a lot higher than it was on Jace.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Done the point home. Well, you carry on with Bloodbraid Elf, doesn't matter.
So one of the things that Grant has sent us was the top 8 for GP Phoenix. And it looks like there's a smattering of Jace the Mind Sculptor in a couple of decks, and Jund second place with 4 Bloodbraid Elf. But looking at the rest of the top 8, yeah, they're all different decks. So it seems to be fairly in a good place. The world hasn't ended with the unbanning of Jace. And I guess the thing that I really wanted to say was I've been saying that Jace should be unbanned for literally years now, and I knew it wouldn't hurt the format, and I was right. That's all I want to say.
And if you go on that same website, if you click on Modern, for instance, there is, I can't find it, I was trying to look for it. There's a website that came up on Facebook actually that was talking about like the percentage increases of certain decks as of the unbannings. If you click on Modern on that MTG Top 8 website, it's got a few things. So like it says that Jund is up to like 4% now, as a result of Bloodbraid Elf. Hollow Ones, Hate Bears, like Aura Boggles, that should be, of like up, and then like the ones that have lost out have been like other control decks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Storm apparently is down, Valakut's down, Dredge is down, and like anything like Lantern Control's down. So that seems to be like the overall pattern. And I also found like an article that was about, just a quick one, it was like winners and losers from modern unbanning. So they were saying about certain cards that have seen play or severely not seen play now. One of them was Lightning Bolt. So Lightning Bolt wasn't really seen for a while. I don't know if you sort of noticed that at all for the last like 6 months or so.
Only a burn, really, yeah.
But apparently it's come sort of back. Although I think I heard that burn has become slightly less common as well in terms of the most recent tournaments. But again, it might be balancing out still. Yeah, so Lightning Bolt's apparently gone up. Apparently Inquisition of Kozilek's being played less because there's less those kind of decks being played. Snapcaster Mage is apparently more popular. Lantern is just doing awful apparently. Terminus apparently is being played more because of it targeting, because it's being quick enough basically. Kullagan's Command, and then really random ones like Liliana the Last Hope and Display of Dominance from Dragons is being played to counter Jace.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, count. Is that what's Display of
Display of Dominance is green and 1. Destroy target blue or black non-creature permanent, or permanents you control can't be targeted by blue or black spells. So that's quite fun. See, there are some patterns, but like you said, it doesn't seem to have completely wrecked the meta. It's shifted percentages by like 5% at most. So yeah.
Well, I think with the black cards for Lily and stuff, it's because of Jund having a chance again with Bloodbraid Elf being back.
Yeah.
So I think Dark Confidence gone up as well, quite a fair bit.
Oh, I've luckily got a place to go. Let's look at that.
Yeah, because that card needs to be more expensive.
Oh shit! So apparently, original Ravnica apparently $100.
Wow.
Ugh.
Yes,
I need to get to my folders.
It went. It went $54 on 12th of February to $96.33.
Oh, that's disgusting.
3 left in stock. Oh, I've got a Judge promo one as well.
I've got a Judge promo one. Oh, did I trade it to you? I can't even remember.
It's probably the one I've got. It's now $200.
Yeah, although it's gone up and it went to $260, and then we were like, hang on, no, that's ridiculous. Go down.
Nah. Yeah, oh yeah, it did.
Okay, that's good to know.
Unbelievable.
I use MTG stocks a lot in what I do.
Yeah.
And they now put a euro price in.
Cool.
Which I hate. because the euro price is always shit compared to any other card. As soon as the card starts spiking, America goes crazy and buys everything, and Europe's just there going, chill out. It'll be fine.
That's funny.
So I hate it. People come, the euro. So like, Ravnica Dark Confidant is now $100, and the Europe one is €35. That makes no sense.
Wait, Dark Confidant?
Yeah.
That's insane. That just goes to show how much...
Or it might just be that it shows how slower Europe is to react to the change in the market price.
Either that, or just how it's good to shop around, I guess.
To be fair, it depends where it gets its information from. It might update from different websites.
That's true. I think MTG Stocks gets its US price from TCG Player. Actually, that's a fact. TCG Player Mid. But it's now got a market price. I'm not quite sure what it gets the market price from.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Europe average is going to be Magic Card Market.
Which isn't very... Yeah.
I don't like that. When people come to me quoting an MCM price, I tell them I don't care what that price is. I've never done anything on it. Apart from look at it.
Why is it so bad?
I've never done anything on that website.
Why?
I just don't like it. I think it's horrible.
I need more than that.
No,
what's horrible about it? It's just...
For me, one of the prices. But no, it's just trying to filter what you want, price. I know there are easy ways to do it, but every time I log into it and look, I say log in, I don't have an account. Every time I look at it, I just go, bleh. I don't want to look at this page.
Is that the one where it just looks really kind of like an old text-based?
Yeah, it looks horrible.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, okay.
That's our UK equivalent of TCG Player, I guess.
Right.
Europe equivalent of TCG Player.
Okay, then moving swiftly on, the other big thing that's happening is Return to Dominaria. Is it Dominaria? Return.
Yeah, Dominaria.
There's been some cards spoiled. Perhaps some cards spoiled that shouldn't have been spoiled, but they've been spoiled. And I cannot unsee the cards that have been spoiled. So,
what do you mean? You can't even see them. There's no images.
That's true. I cannot unsee the text.
I used to be very like I don't care about the artwork in Magic cards. I'm quite happy just the cost and the text is fine.
Nope.
But since this league, I've learned actually I really like the artwork on Magic cards.
Because
or there's a whole set league as a Magic financier. I should look at these and read them all, and I couldn't.
It's a lot harder.
I just can't look at them all. I need pictures to go with them.
Yep, it makes it a lot easier. Some new card frames and new sort of formatting on the cards. So they've got these sagas. Grant, I'm assuming you've probably done some homework on this.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. The kind of rules for it and things. Layout reminds me a bit of when the Aftermath cards were first spoiled.
Yep.
We've got this kind of weird split but sideways thing, which, it is a bit weird. To be fair, we're kind of running out of ways to print stuff, different angles on cards, so I think it's okay. But yeah, so the way they work is they've got 3 steps, basically. Sometimes the first 2 steps are identical, but you've got 3 steps anyway. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you get a counter, and then you do the first step, the second step, or the third step, and when you do the third one, then it goes away, basically. And because it uses a counter, like a law counter, there's already been people, not so much in standard, there's already been people talking about, like in modern, there's stuff that obviously manipulates counters, obviously proliferates, speeds it up, but you can use stuff like clock spinning to take counters off, which is quite interesting. But basically, yeah, if you're doing it how it should be, you play this thing, and then 3 turns later, it does, each turn does something different, and in 3 turns it will do basically its story, and then it will go away, which are called chapter abilities. Apparently they're a whole new type of an ability.
I quite like the cards. I don't see why they wouldn't just fit like they would in a Planeswalker style.
I guess so. Interesting thing to note about the rules for this is, say if you had like a trigger that put a counter on, or let's think of it another way. If you put a counter on something and then it triggered something, and then like, the opponent responded by killing that thing or taking counter off, like it would change the trigger, wouldn't it? Because it would check it on resolution. The sagas don't do that. Once the trigger has gone on the stack, you can't fiddle with the counters to make it different at all.
Oh.
So it's once the trigger's on the stack, it doesn't care about how many counters it's got on it. That will happen regardless of if you kill it or not or whatever.
That's interesting to note. Doesn't check again on resolution.
Yeah, if you go on the Dominaria FAQ, once a chapter ability has triggered, the ability on the stack won't be affected if the saga gains or loses counters or it leaves the battlefield.
Okay.
So
that is cool.
Also,
that is different to a lot of effects.
Yeah, I mean, if you do multiple at once as well, you get to choose which ones you do when, but they still will happen. say if you went from 1 to 3, you don't go 1 and do the third one twice or whatever. It does it how it's supposed to, basically.
They're interesting. I quite like them. The sort of nice, cool kind of cards that people would enjoy using in Commander.
Some of them are quite powerful as well. The Phyrexian Scriptures one, which is the first one to get spoiled, that has already got a lot of talk about it being played in all kinds of formats. Modern was one of them, actually.
So why don't you talk us through that one then? What does that one do?
So Phyrexian Scriptures is 2 black and 2, and then so you play it obviously, and then it won't do anything to your next turn.
No. It does, something happens as soon as you play it.
What do you draw? Is it?
Yeah, as it enters. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so you play something, it does the 1 ability. That's right. So for this one, the 1 ability is put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 creature, so you don't have to. That creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other types. The 2/1 is destroy all non-artifact creatures. So even if you don't do anything with this, like in terms of, say if you're playing a control deck that didn't have creatures at all, you've basically got like a delayed wrath effect for 4 mana, which is quite nice. And then the third one is exile all cards from all opponent's graveyards, and then obviously it would go away. But what people are thinking about in Modern, say for instance, is you play the Scriptures card, it doesn't stay in the 1/1 counter, doesn't really matter if it happens or not. You do the other one, the Wrath ability, and then before your next turn, you take off a counter with like Clock Spinning, which incidentally has buyback, so you can keep doing it every single turn. It's 5 mana, or 4 mana, I think it is. And you can keep wrathing the board every single turn. So yeah, if you manipulate the tokens, not so much the other ones, but this one in particular is quite powerful. Even if you don't do that, it's still like a 4 mana wrath, which is delayed, but still quite fun, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The thing that I'm most excited about in this set, though, is the return of some interesting goblins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't care about the sagas. So, Goblin number 1 is Siege Gang Commander. Nice little reprint.
War Chief.
Goblin War Chief, which I didn't think would ever be reprinted. Not because they shouldn't reprint it, but just I would not have thought they'd reprint it.
Reprinted since when?
Well,
Scourge.
It's been reprinted since Scourge.
Is it?
Hasn't it? I'm pretty sure it has.
It's been reprinted in like a small like dual deck. I don't think it's been reprinted
in standard.
Is it? Well, the picture they've used for Mythic Spoiler is from Scourge, so
I'm fairly certain it hasn't been constructed.
Oh no, okay, I'll take it all back. No, all random sets instead.
They're probably like no. There definitely is a 3 mana goblin that does a very similar ability that you're probably thinking.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'll let you have it.
Yeah.
Or Skizzik as well. Very well. When I was learning how to play the game, that was a card I hated my opponent playing.
When I was a lad.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, and Thorn Elemental, which I bloody hated as well.
Thorn Elemental. There's a lot of old school stuff coming back in this, isn't there?
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
It's an old school plane. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's old school, but with new mechanics.
Llanowar Elves.
Good new mechanics. I've yet to see how good they are, but they seem quite fun and different. They're quite unique in what they are, and it's to get older players back into the game.
Yeah,
guaranteed. That's what this is targeted at. And I've already seen it. We had 2 new players turn up for standard this week, and I was like, "Oh, this is your first time playing? How, do you need any help?" I was like, "No, we used to play." Sorry, they didn't know each other, but yeah, no, they're both players that haven't played for a few years. Coming back, used to play around 4th edition time.
Nice.
Wow.
Coming back to the game now. And I didn't link it, but it is obviously because we are going back to Dominaria, and the interest is already there. You might say 2 players, that's not really much, but to be fair, that's for our regular standard night tournament, that's probably 15% of the field.
Yeah.
So if I've got them coming back next week and another 2, oh.
No, it's good. Curious to hear though, Simon, what you're most excited about from what's been spoiled so far.
I work in a weird way, so because the set looks really awesome, it means it's going to be open a lot and nothing's going to be worth any money. So that's what I work on. But of course, I'm quite excited about all the dual lands being reprinted, the check lands being reprinted, the enemy check lands.
Oh yes,
because I have a lot of those lying around, and most of them are worthless apart from Sulphur Falls. They're going in value again already. The other thing, obviously, is Mox Amber.
Yeah, I'm not sold with this one.
No, neither am I, but a lot of people are, and that's all I need.
Yeah, I think this promises too much. In fact, I'll take that back. I don't think it promises anything. I just think it's...
I agree.
Have you seen the what's happened to some legendary 1-drops since this has been spoiled?
Yeah, but they've spiked, and good for them. What legendary 1-drops in particular?
There's the White Hound. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh,
That's the big one. That's the big one. The good dog. The good dog.
I mean,
I want to say Isamaru, but that might be from Naruto.
It was from Kamigawa?
Kamigawa,
Yeah. But yeah, loads of legendaries, cheap legendaries are spiking.
Isamaru, I got it right. Yay.
Mock Samba currently sits at around $30, so it's cheap.
Rubbish.
It's really fun. It is fun. But yeah, I don't think it's worth that. What I wasn't so excited about, but intrigued about, is what they've done with one of the promos. So I don't know. So I don't know if you. So they're letting you, if you pre-order a box now from your local retailer. I think it has to be from your local retailer. I hope it's just from the local retailer, not from the online retailers.
No, I don't.
You guess it on the day of pre-release.
Yeah.
So instead of having to wait until release day, you get it on the pre-release weekend. But you also, for buy a box promo, you only now get as a buy a box promo.
Hold on, are you saying you get the box at pre-release?
Yes.
Yeah, if you pre-order, you get given your box on the weekend before release.
Yeah, that's really clever.
That's quite good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's limited to one per player or what the rules are on it.
That's decent.
But no, what's really weird is there's one card now that you can only get by pre-ordering a box or buying a box. You buy a box promo. That's all you can get. You can't open it in a pack, whatever. There's no other way of getting it, apparently, apart from the buy a box promo, which is different. I'm worried it's a slightly dangerous path.
I don't know. I don't think it's dangerous. I'm trying to think why it's dangerous. I think it's the reason I said it's clever is I think it will sell more boxes. I think from that point of view, it's really good for them.
I guess that means it's standard legal. I don't think it'll break out in standard, but it does. If it does, it's quite dangerous. There was an example, someone quoted with Yu-Gi-Oh, where there was quite a powerful card you can only get from buying a computer game. So you're sort of going down that route there.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. So Fire Song and Sunspeaker, this card isn't part of the regular set.
No, it's only a promo.
Oh.
But legal in standard. I guess it's not too. They've been doing it for a while in the dual decks or the Planeswalker decks, haven't they? Where there's certain cards, but nothing there has broken. I've warned of that before, but nothing there has really broken out yet.
But even if you wanted them, you would just spend like 10, 15 quid and get one of those.
Yeah.
With this, you can't.
It's sort of like it's got a bit of a price limit on it, but this is just if this breaks out in standard, I don't think it will, but if it does,
in 6 mana, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a legend as well. I hear what you're saying though. As long as they're being sensible with it and producing 6 mana.
Yeah.
Dual coloured legend creature type, cards, which are, there's 3 things there which make it very difficult to be, 4 of.
In their statement, they did say it's aimed at commander/casual players.
We don't want Goblin Rabble Master in this slot.
No.
Which was a buy a box promo, obviously.
No, exactly.
But that was fine because it was in the set.
Exactly, yeah, but obviously doing this, it would be very bad, and hopefully they're not going to be that stupid. So I think,
but it sets up the precedent that they may at one time, even inadvertently, do it.
Yeah,
we'll see. But no, good things. I think it's going to cause a lot of excitement.
All I can say on it is, if you look at the recent trend of cards that have been in these sets, this is following on that, and I think there's so far. On the one hand, you could say they've messed up a lot with standard, with the bannings and all the rest of it. But then at least with this element of standard, they haven't so far done anything too dumb. So that gives me a bit of faith that they're actually...
I think there's plenty of things to be broken in this set.
No, I mean like the cards that are outside of the main set, that sort of thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But what...
in terms of what I find quite interesting with this one, one that... Not so much cards, but one that the Hormarid creature type is back, which I think will go over very well with the older players because we obviously missed the crab people. Another thing that I quite liked was the color rotation of the triple mana ones. So there's like Benelish Marshal, which is 3 white for a 3/3 without Anthem ability. Tempest Djinn, which is triple blue for a 0/4 flyer that gets +1/+0 for each island you've got, and just cards that enforce you to basically you have to do this monocolor kind of thing. So I
I think I've only seen the green one so far, and it looked busted.
So yeah, 3 mana, 5/4, can't be blocked by creatures power of 2 or less. There's Goblin one, which is triple red, 3 first.
Green one. The green one's best. Sorry, the green one's best because there's Llanowar elves as well. So
I guess. Yeah,
it's a 2-drop 5/4 in.
It's an elf as well, which is interesting.
Yeah. That's one big elf. 5. That's one big elf.
I mean, there was Leatherback Baloth, which was the same cost for a 4/5.
Yeah, that's a Baloth.
Yeah. But in terms of actual cards, I found it that I like. There's 2 really. There's one that's just silly that reminds me a bit of Triskaidekaphobia, which is Lich's Mastery.
I was just reading this.
Which is 3 and triple black. It's got hexproof, which is very important. It says you can't lose the game. When you gain life, you draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, for each 1 life you lost, exile a permanent you control, or a card from your hand or your graveyard. And when the enchantment leaves your battle, you lose the game. So for those of you that haven't worked out the reason why it's not busted is because if this is you've got nothing left in your graveyard, nothing left in your hand, and this is the only thing on the field, you're going to have to sacrifice it. So although it's got hexproof, you will have to get rid of it eventually. So I think it's fine. But it's also 6 mana, which makes me a bit sad. I like the Triskaidekaphobia because only 4 mana, but I like that this is silly, and I like that in terms of like the whole like you don't lose but pay the price kind of thing. This is just fantastic because it literally gets rid of everything. And the other one was the Antiquities War, which is a Saga card, mostly just because it's got the Artifact Turn Into ability, which I'm always very fond of, with either Tezzeret's Touch or March of the Machines, or Tezzeret himself does the ability obviously as well. So it's 3 in blue for an enchantment. The first 2 Saga steps is a look at the top 5 cards, remove an artifact, put it in your hand. And the third one is artifacts you control become 5/5s until end of turn. So you kind of want to fill your field full of lots of artifacts. Mox Amber would actually be quite useful in this situation. And then it can be a 5/5 in 2 turns time, which is quite fun. Also, as like a theme, I quite like the Saprolings are back. There's a legendary one which is quite fun, which when a Saproling dies, it drains them for 1. But also like little simple spells, like there's one called Fungal Infection, which is target creature gets -1/-1, and it's an instant, so obviously that's quite good combat tricks wise. But you also get a 1/1 Saproling. So for 1 mana, that does a lot of stuff, because you could potentially give something -1/-1, make a Saproling, block with a Saproling, and then block something else beneficially after you've given it -/, which is just very flexible, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I like that card, even though that's just a comp.
Oh my god, Squee is being upgraded.
Squee the Eternal. Or the Immortal. The Immortal.
You may cast... He's now a 2/1, but you may cast him from your graveyard or from exile.
Nice. For those of you that don't know, the last printing of Squee, which was Squee Goblin Kabob, was it, or Nabob, or whatever it was, is it a 2/2 for 3? But you could, every upkeep, if he was in your graveyard, you got him back. He went back to your hand automatically.
Squee Goblin Nabob?
Nabob, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
He's actually used in the discard deck I want to play for Modern. It uses stuff like Drake Haven and other stuff where you discard, and you just discard him, and of course if it's 4 from your graveyard, you just keep getting 4 cards back every time to discard.
Yeah.
Oh, this one looks like it could be played in all of the formats. Gitu Lavamancer, 1 red for a 1/2, Taylor Swiftspeary territory, because as long as there are 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 and has haste.
Yeah, sure.
That's quite easy to set up, and given that Monastery Swiftspear is played in like Modern and Legacy,
It gets
sometime.
plus what?
+1/+0
and haste, so it's a 1 mana 2/2 haste.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not. You can't play as a 1-drop as a hasty creature.
Yeah. I mean,
unless you're playing.
If it was just cards in graveyard, I guess. Yeah.
It's good that it's actually got a bit of an upgrade later in the game, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
On turn 1, it's a worse Soulstorm Mage.
Human Wizard, yeah, it hasn't got like goblin types like this.
I was quite pleased that they put the goblins in, because it's just another tribal thing. Because there's definitely a little tribal flavour at the moment. So
there's Knights as well, which I'm massively excited about, because Knights was my first attempt at a modern deck, which was okay, I guess. But so there's lots of like Knight cards, but also I like that it's got, well, it sounds awful to say, but it does make sense. But it's the hexproof from certain colour mechanic.
Yep.
So
yes.
Knight of Grace has hexproof from black, which sounds very, very clunky. But obviously, hexproof from black is extremely different from protection from black. Because they'll still be able to block you, they just won't be able to fatal push it.
I'm more interested in the wizard tribe.
Where are they?
They're in blue.
They're everywhere.
There's some multicoloured ones as well. But I find it quite interesting because, of course, last year we had Commander.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In
Cool.
Commander we had dragons, we had wizards, we had cats, we had vampires.
Yes.
Cats sort of made an appearance in Amonkhet.
Yes.
Vampires in Ixalan.
Yeah, you're right.
Wizards now. And I think Dominaria. I thought Dominaria would have a sort of dragon theme as well. Was there not many dragons in Dominaria? I thought
there are dragons. There's
there's one. I can see one. Yeah. So I thought So it's interesting that they made the commander sets and then had standard products come out to support those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've even got Ape Warrior as a creature type as well. That was a commander thing, wasn't it? Ape tribe.
No.
Oh.
I do not remember this. I think this was a fever dream you had.
I saw that earlier today. I found it very interesting. So, what's the next commander set? The next commander set's Planeswalkers again.
Hey.
Where Planeswalkers can be commanders.
Yes.
They did that before, didn't they?
Yeah, they did do that before, yeah.
Yeah, so it might not be as tribal.
Although they were monocoloured last time, so it'd be nice to have dual-coloured ones.
Yeah,
but stuff like
they'll definitely
Teferi.
be. Yeah, there'll definitely at least be dual-coloured ones this time.
Because like Teferi was good as a commander, but then his ultimate was really good for Planeswalkers. But of course, if he was your commander, you can only have blue Planeswalkers, which was like 6 cards. So
it's like 20 Jaces.
Yeah, just like I want to have some other stuff.
People having the same out and the back foot at the same time now, so it's fine. Hi, I'm Jace. Yeah, I'm Jace. Nice to meet you, Jace. Draw some cards? Let's.
Good idea, Jace. Thank you, Jace. I can just picture it now.
I take
and
it.
There's one Jace at the back that they call Morty.
just keep him around.
He just scuffed it up.
No, I don't want to look at your pod collection, Jace.
Shut up, Wally Jace.
I imagine it maybe a bit more like if all the Jaces were a bit like Cat from Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Would just be super vain.
I like it.
Morty Jace would blatantly be Ixalan Jace, but he's sad Ixalan Jace.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I finished reading the stories for Ixalan. They were really good, actually.
Were they?
The whole story arc with Jason Brasco was ridiculous, and it kind of sets up for how they're going to try and plan and defeat Bolas later, and it's just very, very clever.
I have a feeling if they're actually really good, they'll publish them in actual books to make more money.
It's just more that I won't do spoilers, but the conclusion they have as to how they're going to defeat Bolas, was basically kind of uses like three planes worth of ideas. Like it all started with like Kaladesh, and now it's got to the end of Ixalan, and now they're going to do it for the next set. So it's like a 3-set plan. It's gone like a really cool long story arc and a bit of character development as well. It's quite nice.
I'll read the stories one day.
Yeah.
Did they get together, Jason Vraska?
No, unfortunately, no. But they have made a date for next time they meet, which is quite sweet.
Does that with Vraska? Does it count as tentacle Paul? Or is it
I guess so. They didn't really go into detail for that one. Maybe the next story. I don't know.
Snakes on a plane.
I like it. I like the delayed laughter. Certain levels of understanding cascaded through Luke's mind.
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it? Well, on many levels.
It did. I bet you there's fan fiction out there for it if you look hard enough.
I don't look that hard. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Without talking too much about my personal habits, I definitely remember seeing some slightly questionable art about ink eyes. You know, the rat from Kamigawa.
Oh yeah.
I think people have too much time on their hands if they're doing nude photos of animal. What's the word? Anthropomorphic rats.
I went on Reddit once, never again.
Dear. That's a mistake.
Don't do that.
Someone sent me a screenshot of someone advertising me as a card trader.
Sure.
But then someone getting upset about the price of his buy listing.
Yeah.
I was saying like 20-30%. I was like, right, let me get on this.
Yeah.
And so I started looking at Reddit for a little bit, and then I went, no, I don't want to touch this. I just messaged my friend going, just correct it. I don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it.
Reddit,
like dynamite.
Reddit
I've
is
just
a
seen
hot
what
mess.
you've said. The Ape Warrior. I've just seen the name of it. Grun the Lonely King.
Is it
So
red?
he's basically got King Louis there.
Yeah.
What colour is it?
It's green, and it costs 6, and you can pay 3 to kick it. I like the idea that there's this really lonely monkey, you kick it, it does more things than just like
Poor monkey.
Yeah, so it's a 6 mana 5/5, but if you kick it for 9, obviously, it comes in as a 10/10. When it attacks by itself, it doubles its power and toughness. That's a very big, angry monkey.
Yeah, I didn't actually read the text, I just read 8 warrior, and I somehow knew it would be
depressing.
If it doesn't look like King Louis, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah. So that is all for now from us. Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, follow the group and keep up to date with whenever we are sending out podcasts. We can also be found on the MTG Cast network. That is mtgcast.com, as well as our own podcast website, which is glimmerofgenius.podbean.com. Also, if you're interested in even more Magic the Gathering content, then please check out my YouTube channel, Vincent Games, which you can find in the description below, or search up Vincent Games on YouTube. Once again, thanks very much for listening, and stay tuned for more.
I'll see you guys later.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
You alright?
Yeah, you guys good? Your various children.
I don't have various children.
It's good we got a nice spectrum. We got from 0 to 1 to 2.
Yeah. It's a good spectrum. I'm always on the wrong end of the spectrum.
I've been on the wrong end of the poo spectrum recently.
Excellent.
I don't want to hear your complaints. I changed 8 nappies by 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. 8.
I changed 0.
Only one of them was mine.
Oh, that is too many nappies.
That was a lot. I was like, this is all I'm doing today.
I didn't have quite so bad as that. I did have the other day one I got through in one session. So she messed one nappy up, and then I put another one on. She immediately crapped in it, took that off, put another one on, pissed in it, took that one off, put a new one on. She farted and it sprayed everywhere. Put another one off, and so I got through about 5 or 6 different nappies.
I don't have that. It sounds like you're doing it wrong.
Are we putting this in the podcast?
Obviously.
Squeeze it in somewhere.
Who cast?
Who?
Grant says rolling his eyes going, oh, I knew it'd be this. Bloody hell. Stupid parents.